Okay, we'll start tonight's City of Olivet Planning Community Design Commission for December 18th to order. Acting Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Member Tim Spiegelglass.
Present.
Member Laura Ragsdale.
Present.
Member Jenna Nat, absent. Member Felicia Ford, absent. Secretary Petrie Powell, absent. Vice Chairman Sam Wallach, present. Chairman Rob Dragell.
Present. Let it also be known that our City Council liaison, Councilmember Brian Lewis, is in attendance, as well as staff liaisons, Carlos Trejo, the Planning and Community Development Department's Director, Dawn Doty, Senior Planner, and Jack Carswell, Planning and Zoning Administrator. All right. Thanks for everybody in attendance, or the one person in attendance. We appreciate it. Carlos, do we have anybody online? Okay, just
No,
a
sir.
quick. Okay.
No, sir. I'm sorry.
No worries. Just to quickly go over it, we follow the agenda kind of item by item. There'll be a time in the beginning for public comments that are not related to agenda items. If you do, we'll just ask you to raise your hand and we'll, bring you up. For anybody who comes to the podium to present, we do ask that they state their name and address for the record. And we also, for any public comments, we like to keep those no more than 3 minutes, just to be respectful of everybody's time and to make sure everybody's opinions are heard. Doesn't look like that'll be a problem tonight, but sometimes we have a full house. So appreciate it. And since there's nobody online, I'm not going to go through that. Is that okay, Carlos?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So before we get to public comments, Carlos, do you have any announcements?
Not for tonight, because we'll be talking about the comprehensive plan afterwards.
Good.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Are there any public comments out in the audience, or if somebody jumped online? Nope. Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Item A, 720 Cherry Tree Lane. Jack?
Good evening, Commission. So before you tonight is 720 Cherry Tree Lane. The project as a whole came in with the pool, some flat work, and a deck modification. The other components, the deck modification was something that would be approved administratively and has actually already gone through the building permit process and has been reviewed by our residential inspector. The pool, due to its sizing, would have also been approved administratively. So this particular item is here tonight because it exceeds the 5% or the 500 square foot limit of flat work that's permitted on this lot. So the lot area that you can see is 8,835. So it's a relatively small lot. So that 5% or 500 square feet that's permitted, the 5% would only allow up to 441.75 square feet. The information that was provided through the plans show that the current existing concrete pad that's there that resides underneath the existing deck is 225 square feet, and the new concrete being added around the pools is about 382 square feet. So in total, they're at 607 square feet. So they just exceed what would be approved administratively by code by 165.25 square feet. So they're here tonight to just ask for the approval for the excess flat work, and then in relation to the stormwater management plan that the petitioner has provided the mitigation plan with the rain garden, and it complies with chapter 422 for stormwater management regulations. So there's no concerns regarded for the concept stormwater management information.
Jack, are there any known water related issues on this property or the surrounding?
My understanding is it kind of falls. If we're looking at I want to go to, it should be the photo that's on the screen. And then it's also, I think on page 3 of your report, it shows the contours there. And that shows it gradually slopes west to east. And then there's kind of this little ravine or, I don't want to call it a ditch, but drainage. Yeah, that's kind of goes right down in between those two properties, between Cherry Tree and then I should know this off the top of my head, but the street that's located to the east between those properties. And that kind of falls, if we had the bigger picture of the contour, you can see how it kind of just gradually goes down the flow of the natural grading.
So
not that I know of. I don't know, Carlos, have you? Okay. Sweet. Thank you.
This is an area that developed right away, right before 2008, in there. And this was before the city had on-site stormwater detention requirements for those lots. So we did experience quite a bit of increase in stormwater because of the new homes and the driveways in there. And then we've also had experienced, as people were settled in, some improvements that were going in place and all that. The way it's kind of set up is that there is a piping system along Cherry Tree and Harvest that releases the front yards down here by the creek that runs in the city of St. Louis right away and the bike trail. That's been the natural flow of drainage. In between these rear properties, all drain right along that middle there. Bear with me here. Uh, you can see how the fences are kind of all separated apart. The drainage just kind of flows all the way through in there. Some days it is stagnant when it's light and low, but for the heavy rains, that is the direction that most of that drainage goes. Heads down towards the bike trail and then into the stream that runs east-west towards University City in there. For the most part, I think a lot of the, outside of a heavy rain, some of the a lot of the property owners have addressed some of their stormwater issues on their own in that process by better, realigning their downspouts and some grading to get to those designated areas either towards the street or towards this back area. Here the grades fall, so these properties drain back here, and I believe here, I don't think it's the same, but I think they all kind of run, and you can see how people are built their own systems along the edges to kind of mitigate the stormwater along the way. Again, so these were areas that developed, and that's why we now require, these accessory structures now to have their own detention
Right.
systems in place.
Okay, good. So no issues that you foresee.
It's been a while. I don't want to say that there are none, but it's been a good while since we've had people call up on a big rain
Yeah.
of flooding or concerns regarding the amount of water.
Okay, good. Anybody else have any questions or comments for Jack?
I just also like to note that the notifications were mailed out and we've gotten no concerns back from any of the surrounding neighbors. And then also just to reiterate with the accessory structures, there's a portion of code that gets ticked off with the 10% lot coverage. They are below that. So they don't exceed that 10% of existing and proposed on their lot.
Good.
So they fall underneath the 10%, but exceed the 5% flat work.
Yeah. Appreciate the clarification.
And all the homeowner is here tonight if there's any additional questions.
Good.
Thank you.
If you'd like to come up and, well, I guess, do we need the homeowner to come up? Anybody have any questions or comments for the homeowner? Seeing none, do I hear a petition?
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead, Sam.
Motion to authorize approval of the petition for site plan and community design review for a total of 382 square feet of a new rear yard flat work at 720 Cherry Tree Lane, as presented in the memorandum from the Department of Community Development dated December 18th, 2025, subject to any staff conditions noted therein.
Motion's been made by Sam Wallach. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And seconded by Laura Ragsdale. Carlos, you please call the vote.
Commissioner Spiegelglass,
Approved.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Approve.
Commissioner Wallach,
Approved.
and Chairman Jorgel.
Approved.
The motion approved is unanimous. So the next step is completing the building permit process to get the necessary permits. Jack will coordinate that with you. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to item B, 605 Avon Court. Jack?
Good evening again, Commission. So before you tonight is 805 Avon Court. It's a new single-family home that's only subject to community design and concept stormwater management review due to the sizing of the lot. The main concerns from staff just came up with the tree preservation and then coordination with the neighbors regarding existing improvements. If we go to, so you can see here, this is just a little graphic that depicts the other properties that are around or that are within the same cul-de-sac. So there are two homes that are relatively new, one that was built in 2009 and one that was built in 2007. So 800 Avon, that's the farthest to the south. And then I don't know, I can't read that number. where's, oh, 808 Avon, yes. 808 Avon also is one of the newer builds, but then you can see that 805 and 808 and then 804 are the ones that are older, that are the one stories, but they also provide the residential square footage there. If Carlos, if you just go back, there was no concerns with the stormwater. That's just the little graphic depicting, you know, the location of the PVCs, the metering outflows, and then the detention facility that will be located to the south within the rear of the lot. Carlos, if you could go to the next slide. Thank you. So this is one of the concerns that stuck out to staff was looking at the location of the neighboring improvements. So all the site plan that's depicted here depicted a 48-inch chain link fence up to the north that comes off of the property to the north and extends into onto 805 Avon's property, as well as where Carlos is zooming in right now. There is a garden area noted on there. So we're seeking clarification on whether that garden area is, you know, part of 805 or if that's something that the neighbor on the lot to the west kind of extended onto 805's property. So we're just seeking for the petitioner to coordinate with those neighbors to have those improvements addressed. And then in the conditions of approval, we're stating, you know, that since it's a lot that's going under that's being remodeled and renovated, you know, tear down build, it's going to be something that as our condition of approval, those on-site improvements would be required to be removed. So then the other concern that stuck out was the tree preservation. There is just one tree that's deemed on the lot and it's deemed in good condition. It's located right there in the northwest of the property. And we're just seeking for additional information on the tree protection measures. It's planned to be protected. However, we just want the petitioner to go back and make sure that everything that's submitted for the building permit is in accordance to ordinance 2821 to make sure that the construction fencing differentiates from the tree protection fencing, and then that the correct distancing is applied from the plans, and making sure that what's shown on the demo plan matches what's shown on the site plan and landscape or tree replacement protection plan. We just got an additional landscape plan, and that landscape plan that's on there depicts 2 replacement trees. Those are depict more than 2, but 2 of them on there are deemed native trees. So in terms with a lot that's between 15,000 square feet and 20,000 square feet, 6 replacement trees would be required. He's protecting 1, providing 2. So we would just like to see that plan updated to reflect the 3 additional trees that are supposed to be indicated on there under the ordinance. So we just asked the petitioner to look over the ordinance, make sure that the tree protection fencing and all of those measures are handled or, you know, in compliance with that ordinance, as well as the replacement species selection.
And Chairman, can I ask for a quick pause? I have a gentleman here that's online that is done. The petition's done.
Oh, sure.
So Mr. Leiphardt, if you can hear me, the petition for cherry trees already been approved, and the owner just went home. So Mr. Hickey just headed out. So
Was he the contractor or?
Yeah, he's one of the gentlemen I've been working with when doing the review.
Good.
Yep.
Fantastic.
So I will send you that approval tomorrow morning.
Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Jack? No? Thanks, Jack.
All right, thank you. And again, no concerns with the mailings that were sent out, and that the petitioner is here to address any other additional questions.
Very good.
Thank you.
I think if we could hear from the petitioner, that would be great. Could you? Yeah.
My name is Arthur Cotes from 7739 Davis Place. Not much to say about the house. We try to feed the neighborhood. Hopefully, you know, we'll get approval.
Good. What about those additional trees that Jack was talking about?
You know, didn't hear that we need to put additional ones, but you know, we'll cooperate, you know, whatever it takes to be compliant with
Good.
current. I guess it's something new that.
Yeah, maybe Jack, you could explain,
Yeah.
you know, kind of the new. Yeah.
Approved. I'll send it in the approval.
All right.
All right, great. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the representative? Seeing none, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Any other further discussion?
I'm sorry, did we want to talk about the garden or anything like that?
We can, yeah.
I mean, have you talked to the neighbors about the garden or anything? No, okay.
No, but I will obviously talk to her and whatever it takes for me to cooperate with her to, like to stop, like maybe to move it or, I mean, obviously I want to have like a happy neighbor,
Yeah.
I do not want to have anybody conflict, so
And then what's going to happen with that chain link fence? That's a good.
it's gonna be gone. I mean,
Gonna be gone.
I want to put the new one in.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
I mean, the whole property is kind of running down, so,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Is that good, Tim?
Yeah, I think just as long as they have that discussion and you guys are okay with it, I'm good with it.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think that they need to get that clarified. It would be an imposition to have it on a new owner than to face their neighbor. So I think we want to get that resolved before the permit's issued. So,
sure.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other further discussion, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Right, so
Somebody would put it up on the screen so I can see it.
I'm gonna have to show you where.
I know it's in here somewhere. Okay, motion to authorize approval of the petition for community design and concept stormwater management review for a new single-family home at 805 Avon Court is presented in the memorandum from the Department of Community Development dated December 18th, 2025, subject to any staff conditions noted therein.
Motion's been made by Sam Wallach. Do I hear a second?
Second.
And seconded by Laura Ragsdale again. Carlos, will you please call the vote?
Commissioner Spiegelglass,
Approve.
Commissioner Ragsdale,
Approved.
Commissioner Wallach,
Approved.
and Chairman Drigo.
Approved.
The motion passes unanimously. So the next step would be for submitting for building permits.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's look at the agenda. We're gonna move on to old business, and this is item A, text amendment to the LID Light Industrial District regarding data centers.
Great. Chairman, this is a draft based on our discussions from our last meeting. I'm not asking for any action tonight, but I think we have everything addressed. Right now, there are no data centers that have been requested or proposed here in all of that. We're just trying to be a little bit proactive in there. A lot of our neighbors have amended their codes to require them as special permits, which means there's a little higher level of review. For all of that, right now, a data center, the way our zoning classification is defined, it would be permitted by right. So someone would just be pulling a building permit and then getting an occupancy in there. What we would like to do is require amend the code and require a special permit. So therefore, if somebody found a facility before they can apply for any building permits or occupancy, they would have to petition the Plan Commission for review and approval and get council authorization. And again, I think that's consistent with the majority of the communities around the area now in there. So we talked about that. So when you create a special permit, you have to identify some conditions that it should comply, that you want to give them some guidance. And what we talked about was having a minimum lot area. 120,000 square feet is a very common lot area that we use, which is a little bit less than 3 acres in there. It'd be consistent with other components of our code where we do differentiations. Require that it has a buffer of 300 feet. That's somewhat similar to what we did for cultivation facilities for cannabis and warehousing and transportation facilities for cannabis. This is to assist in mitigating some of the noise issues that are related with these centers. And then the commission had asked for performance standards. In your draft, you'll have some more specific guidance, but we would be requesting performance standards both on electric, water usage, and sound and noise mitigation. What the code would be asking is that they provide a professional consultant that addresses these 3 issues, identifying, what was there, what is there now, what is the requirement, and are the resources there consistent to supply that demand and such. You have the wording written in your packets, and then we also have it online if you want to read it later down the road. We did look at several other communities, especially further out west. I think these were from uh, Wentzville, Wright City, and what they had in place in there. Then there was other communities that addressed generators and their operations, and then the battery energy storage systems is usually the areas that they collect either the generator energy or any other um, type of energy resources like the solar panels or wind in there to make sure that where they store that is compliant with the fire protection standards. It would be anyway. We're just kind of reiterating this in that process. So these would be the general conditions in there. Again, they're kind of now written out in there, so you guys can take a look at it, mull it over, and we can discuss this at our January meeting for consideration of action. If there's anything else you'd like to add to that list, please let me know. I was trying to craft it and be careful. Again, the state has started discussions on these, and what I'm trying to get is be consistent with what the state has identified under the community's control. Like we can control place, we can control time, we can control aesthetics, the performance standards, that's a new area, but we're not asking to control that. We're asking to get that information to assist in the decision-making process in there. I don't know if we'll see any new changes in this coming legislative year in there, but I think the main components of this would be reasonable, and that most communities kind of have the same standards. So.
I think this looks good so far. Yeah.
Ms. Doty put together some graphics for us here, just so you have an idea. Again, the hard gray areas are the industrial park. Those that are highlighted in the blue represent parcels that are over 120,000 square feet. Once you take in the residential buffers, you can see the parcels that are applicable.
I think that makes sense.
Right.
Nicely done.
Mhm.
Could have been way more.
And I think, it's good to also kind of look at, what is there, Murphy has their administrative offices located here, and they do fabrication in this side, and then they own this building. So Murphy's been pretty active with these three parcels, and we hope that they continue to be, residents here for a long time in there. This facility down at Shoreline, Schnucks operates all their floral operations there. They're a great business for us in there, but it's not anything unique of a building.
Yeah, yeah.
We're fortunate that they selected that location. It's probably great for them because it's pretty well centralized in there. This facility, though, it is currently occupied in there, but a lot of times it seems very low intensity. It used to be the old printing operations for Gannett, which did USA Today in there.
Yeah.
If there was anyone I would be suspicious of, because it is an older single story kind of warehouse, minimal office type of facility.
Gotcha.
I mean, are we trying not to have data centers?
I think we just want to control, I think, no, that's not our goal, the underlying goal,
Yeah.
but to make sure that we have the regulations where we can manage where they can be. And those 4 sites would be the ideal sites.
And control the impact.
Right, but if those 4 sites aren't available and somebody wants to come in here, are we
Yeah.
saying that, hey, no brainer?
Yeah.
Yeah. And ultimately, if you look out in these sites, the only site that's available that isn't occupied at this moment is this vacant piece of land here off of Dealman.
Okay.
We've been very fortunate. Our industrial parks do pretty good in terms of their occupancy. We got, spaces here and there, but most of the larger buildings are pretty well occupied.
Have you been involved with any construction of data centers or anything?
I haven't heard it. The only thing I marked down that I was gonna ask about was pollution. Is there any concern about pollution with any of these things? With like water cooled or anything like that?
And I think that's where we would want the consultant to talk about water.
Water, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been anything, but I know it's coming and it's coming very fast and they're gonna be looking for places.
Exactly. That's kind of the whole
And it's
purpose
interesting,
to get this in play.
just a little bit of background because we had to do some research, but they come in like in 3 tiers. So you can find like really small ones that are looking like for 15,000 square feet or less, but they're usually you don't even know that something's in there.
Right.
Then you have the 15 to 50,000 square foot, and that's typically like what a lot of the buildings that we have in there. And then there's the 50,000 plus where they're called the mega centers, and those are the ones that you hear, in there. And frankly, we just don't have that size of buildings up,
And luckily, we don't have any vacancies,
Correct.
but the smaller ones, how big of a deal are those?
Yeah, I think most of the stuff we hear about are these larger ones in there, and it's really hard to say or distinguish. Are they talking about this little micro, or are they talking about the mega in there? But we can continue to look and see what we can find.
Especially the impact of the smaller ones. Maybe that's not a bad, if those aren't a problem, maybe we're we're throwing them into the bunch, unnecessarily.
So, okay, we can take a look at that.
Okay, great. I think this is moving along quite well. Okay, let's move on then to item 5, 2024 comprehensive plan.
All right, just a real quick update in terms, again, these were the council priorities that were discussed a couple of months ago. Again, the enhancements along Olive Boulevard, the streetscape enhancements along the city's network, pedestrian, bicycle, removing barriers to solar panel installation, establishing outdoor lighting regulations, implementing and improve stormwater oversight and regulations. And then on housing, about allowing the subdivision of larger lots into smaller lots for an opportunity for smaller homes, and new regulations to manage the size and impact of new homes and such. So what we did is that for the commission, after getting some guidance from the council, we went back to the 2024 comp plan, and then Ms. Doty has been sending out a survey weekly that identifies you to kind of prioritize what kind of potential community actions you would recommend within each goal. And we went over the first one at our last meeting regarding housing, where the council again was looking to adjust lot sizes and new regulations to manage the size of these homes. The commission was pretty close. The commission was looking for adjustments to permit smaller lots for smaller homes. Conduct a comprehensive housing plan assessing current stock and conditions, and then a renter's bill of rights. Those were the top 3. There are quotes, I believe there's like 8 of them that are noted in the comprehensive plan. We were just identifying the ones that received the 3 highest points in that process, and then kind of highlighted where they fall with the council. We also, in this section, a couple of members did provide some more comments or other what we'll call PCAs, planned community actions, about allowing ADUs, allowing tiny homes, kind of establishing regulations to control demolition by right, and then a discussion about whether we're disincentivizing older homes, the way the current process works, and how we kind of also the way the current process is set up, that we view houses one by one as opposed to holistically like a whole street at the same time in there. So that's where we're at in those. We had a little bit of discussion at our last meeting about the 3 along with the added-ons here, and again, it was just trying to get that information. And then we talked about the next survey that went out, and that was Goal I, regarding environmental sustainability. The objectives were to reduce the environmental impacts, preserve and enhance all of its natural areas and habitats, and minimize the impact of climate change. Here, the council talked about the barriers to solar panel installations, a need for more stringent outdoor lighting regulations, and to implement and improve stormwater oversight in our regulations. What the commission said, and this is new, was to preserve and protect green space habitat sensitive land, to consider impacts on air and water quality, and to promote green infrastructure as a stormwater management strategy. So again, they're not too far in there. The council was a little bit specific, specifically with these two in there, but a lot of it kind of falls under the larger aspect. When you look at the comprehensive plan, I believe there were 18 planned community actions. These are the three council ones, so they weren't specific to these. But the top three that the commission had go back to the previous slide, which was preserve and protect the green space, habitats, and sensitive lands, impacts on air and water quality, and promote green infrastructure in there. And we kind of talked about that. Commissioner Spiegelglass just brought it up as we were talking about the data centers. So it's looking at rules and regulations regarding those specifics in there.
And what the council requested wasn't on our
There,
survey, right?
correct.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Correct. I
Right.
kept that independent or separate, just kind of us staying on the comprehensive
Okay,
plan.
good.
On the next one, the most recent one was GO-J, which was about strategic redevelopment and growth. And the objectives are to enhance the appearance of commercial and industrial development of Olivet, particularly on Olive, and encourage efficient and successful growth and redevelopment. They're all both pretty broad, but the council again kind of focused on Olive, its current streetscape, and then also to the streetscape enhancements between the pedestrian bike network throughout the city. And there, what the commission was pretty much in consensus. Further, Chapter 428, which is our streetscape standards, and the Olive Boulevard Master Plan to improve quality consistency along Olive, explore funding opportunities to implement these improvements, because right now we just do it on a redevelopment basis, and to consider smart growth principles. That's a whole broad area that we can discuss at a bigger day, but that's looking at a site like Olive Crossing, where you have residential, you have commercial, you have office, and you have pedestrian linkages, you have open space, all considered as one part of a development in there, and that's the smart growth type of principle. So we do follow some of these in there. And then again, there was about 18 planned community actions that were noted in the comprehensive plan. You got the top three is the ones that we are noting here, and nobody else had brought any others to add on. So we're still evaluating it. We'll continue to get the top three of the next two. I think Don just sent out the fourth one this week.
Actually, no, I have not sent it out yet. Everybody has already gotten back. Well, actually, I guess I did. Everybody's just already gotten back to me. So tomorrow there will be no reminder email, just a hearty thank you this evening, and probably tomorrow again to say thank you all for responding and getting back to me on that goal E.
I miss those reminder emails though.
Oh,
Always getting them.
but nagging you is such a great thing to do.
So the goal would be, again, as we consider the council, we'll add the top three on the that we received from the surveys, and hopefully by our next January meeting, which should be the 15th, we'll have that fully completed, and then we can kind of talk about the different action steps and which ones to kind of focus on along with those council items in there. I don't know if the liaison has anything to provide beyond that, and hopefully we're going in there. And then if there's any questions about the process, I'd like to know. I mean, right now, I think this is good to kind of get an idea of how to kind of create some type of hierarchy on where to start on these. Again, this is a 20-year plan, so we have 20 years to try to look and implement some of these. And some of these won't be commission created or written, like a renter's bill of rights. That'd be something, again, that we would encourage our liaison to talk to the council to develop, because that wouldn't be part of the zoning code in there. But then also to educate the commission that there are certain things that we already do in-house to ensure that renters are aware of their rights and all that. There's a pamphlet we have up here that gives them access to the state and some of the state services in there. And I believe there's some information on our website too that that identifies where people can get help on these matters.
I think this is great. The only thing I would say is to look at where the midpoints or the mid-level ones are. And if those are easier to get done, low-hanging fruit, then maybe we should work on some of those rather than starting with the hardest and getting bogged down.
Okay.
Anybody else have any comments?
I think especially to your point, because I mean, difference between 19 and 16 or 17 isn't massive in the scheme of it. So it should, I think
They were pretty tough.
they're pretty tight, which is great consensus wise, but I think it shows they're all important. But you're right, like a renter's bill of rights is going to take some time
Right.
and readings and going back and forth and things like that. But you're right, something's a lot simpler. I think the council will have to take advice, obviously, from Mr. Trejo and others, just to understand kind of what would help over over the decades of being here. Like what are the things that could be moved faster?
Right.
You guys agree, then we take it, we bring it up for bills at that point.
Exactly. All right, good.
All right.
Thanks, Carlos. I appreciate that. We'll move on to other business. Item A, reports. Carlos.
All right, the one thing I want to go over with the commission is our calendar for this coming year. We have no meeting on January 1st. Of course, that is the first Thursday for 2026 and the month of January. So, and we can't have meetings on a holiday in there. So that meeting will be canceled. Our first meeting will be January 15th. In March, spring break for the Ladue School District is the 13th through the 20th. Our Lady of the Pillar is the 16th to the 23rd. So our March meetings are the 5th and the 19th. And while I don't need answers now, but I think we want the commission to kind of look at the 19th because who would have conflicts?
I am not going out of town,
So
so.
Okay.
I'll just say right now, probably in March, I'm going to have a newborn in the house. So probably the 5th and the 19th, I'm not going to be here for that.
Bring them.
You don't want that.
I will probably be gone on the 19th. But could maybe attend via Zoom.
yeah, and the goal would be, I think they just like a lot of the applicants, just like a heads up, and we can adjust the schedules
Yeah.
in there. For April, we have Passover and Easter. Passover runs from the 1st to the 9th. Maundy Thursday is the 2nd. And then we have meetings on April 2nd and April 16th. We haven't had an issue before in terms of Passover, but I just wasn't sure and I didn't want to make assumptions here. And we haven't had issues with Maundy Thursday also.
I might be out April 16th.
The Passover, that second night of Passover, I wouldn't be able to attend.
I think that's when.
That's the April 2nd, correct?
Correct.
All right. And as we get closer again, we'll talk about these days. For May, there's Shavat, the 21st and the 22nd. Graduations. Our PCDC meetings are the 7th, which I don't believe would be an issue, and then the 21st, and we get closer towards the end of school, and all that. And again, we've managed before. I just keep it in mind.
This is correct.
For September, Rosh Hashanah is the 11th through the 13th, and Yom Kippur is the 20th through the 21st. So they should have no impact to our scheduled dates, the 3rd and the 17th of September. And then as we get towards December, Hanukkah is the 4th through the 12th. Our PCDC meeting dates are the 3rd, which is prior, and then the 17th, which is after. So we should be good. If there's any other dates or things I should look into, just let us know. But I think we just want to be able to give people
Yeah.
an advance notice. So,
Okay. Sounds great.
mhm.
Brian?
The only thing I have is the pet adoption that was gonna be scheduled previously got moved because of, I believe it was the weather when we had the snow. So it's been moved to January 17th at 5 Oaks. It's a call out and then reminder everyone the pet licenses are due by the end of the month, registering your pet. And just a big, happy holidays and thank you to everyone for long year, a lot of late nights with some big projects, but you can see the wealth of that coming up and a lot of big openings in the Q1, Q2 of next year with, Brass Tap and Smoothie King, Verizon Store, and Paris Baguette. So it's going to be very exciting.
Very exciting. Great comments. Appreciate them. All right. One other thing that we need to talk about is acknowledgements of meeting minutes.
Actually, Chairman,
Jack, very impressed.
Mr. Carswell would like to read those aloud to the commission.
The ones from May?
May 1st and August 17th, we are going to acknowledge receipt of both. If anybody has any corrections, please talk to Jack direct. So thank you, everybody. I agree. Happy holidays to everybody and thanks. And what time is it?
Good
And we'll
job.
adjourn.
everybody. Good job.
That was 7:42.